Welcome to Collections of Cinema.
Ho, 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 bitches.
Oh my, it's aggressive.
Ho, 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 hoes.
Ho, 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 hoes.
Welcome to a new episode of Collections of Cinema.
Collections of hoes.
Esteemed ho and disesteemed ho.
Esteemed.
Esteemed. I mean, you're not esteemed. You don't have a degree in anything besides being bullshitter.
Wow. See, that's how we're starting up the podcast.
Yeah, with some disses.
Tell me how you really feel.
I feel like Bean is sniffing my socks or licking them.
Why are you licking his socks, man?
Okay, everybody, we're back with a new episode of Collections. Don't address the dog, Danielle. And since we're doing Christmas, I might take off that hat soon because it's going to make me sweat. We're doing Christmas-themed movies, and the next movie in that particular selection is Violent Night.
Number 1003.
From 2022.
Yes.
Tommy Wirkola directed it. He is a Norwegian film director and known from movies like Dead Snow.
Is he Norwegian or is he Norwegian?
Norwegian. Norwegian. He's known from Dead Snow, Hansel and Gretel, Witch Hunters, Dead Snow 2, What Happened to Monday, The Trip, Violent Night, and he is known for violent depictions of violence.
Violent depictions of violence.
Yeah, gory depiction of violence. Let's just say it like this. And Violent Night came out in 2022. Stars David Harbour, known from the
Stranger Things
series. And
it's funny because I always want to call him David Hopper because his name is Hopper.
Hopper, yeah, David Harbour. And the movie had a budget of 20 million, made 76.6 million in the box office, which is actually pretty good. And considering, like, with that budget, it actually is a fairly, I mean, granted, it's just one location, but it's a fairly good movie in that sense. Like, there is, I would say, you don't see the low budget.
No.
But then also, the low budget kind of fits with the overall B-movie type of feel.
You think it feels B-movie? I don't think it feels B-movie.
It feels polished B-movie in the sense that the gore and the story overall is very B-movie-esque.
Okay.
Well, it's very polished and obviously a Hollywood movie. Do you want to go into the plot of the movie?
Yeah, so essentially it starts off with you see ex-husband and wife. I think they're separated.
They're separated, yeah.
Not divorced maybe, but separated.
I mean, it says here on Wikipedia, estranged wife. So I think they're not separated,
okay.
But they're estranged.
And they have a kid and they are in the car together and they're driving to his family's house for their like annual Christmas thing and kind of seemingly dreading going there.
Yeah.
And they get to this massive mansion.
Mm-hmm.
And instantly you see like very stereotypical how hoity-toity this family is and how like full of themselves they are and look at me, how much money I have, I'm better than you. Like you see all of that instantly. And I think my favorite is the kid.
The kid who streams, who posts on social
posting on social media. It's funny.
Yep.
But just super stereotypical, cliche stuff. And you soon realize that Bean. Okay. You soon realize that someone has broken into their house.
Yeah.
And
they have been infiltrated. Let's just say like this. Most of their staff has been.
Sorry, the dog is digging in his bed like a maniac.
The staff has been infiltrated by like mercenaries and
they're trying
Mr. Scrooge.
Yeah, they're trying to steal what you find out to be stolen money.
Yep.
So they're trying to steal back stolen money. Not really steal back because it wasn't theirs to begin with, but they know that the family stole money or the mother.
3 million
the
cash
matriarch
in a hidden vault
stole
in the
3
mansion.
million.
Yeah.
dollars in cash, and
Yeah.
so they're trying to take it.
Yeah, but
So they hold the family hostage, essentially.
But Santa is on his way to the houses because it's Christmas Eve, and Santa's played by David Harbour, as we already said that he's the main star in the movie, and he delivers presents to their house too as well, and he takes a little break eating cookies and drinking, I think, like brandy or something fancy, because he's not your stereotypical Santa. He's a drunk and he doesn't really like his job.
I wouldn't say that. I think
mean,
he likes it, but he's tired.
He's tired, and he has clearly some things that he doesn't like about it. And you can also put him just outside.
We're not going to pause now. Just continue because
Okay.
I'm putting the dog out.
Yeah. Just be sure that the door is closed there. And so he comes to the house, enjoys a drink and some cookies, and realizes that something's going bad or something wrong is happening. And he soon gets attacked by one of the mercenaries who are skimming the house for more people. And he defends himself. Let's just say. Let's just say it like this. He defends himself and he kills a guy. And that's where it starts to get very bloody and gory and just, I don't know, just very nice.
Yeah.
I really like that part where he just goes
ape shit.
Home Alone, Home Aloneing, not Home Alone.
I mean, he
that
doesn't go
Trudy
Home
does.
Aloneing.
Trudy does Home Alone in Spirit Traps.
Yeah.
But he goes full on Die Hard. Yeah, on those mercenaries. Because they fuck with him and he fucks back.
Yeah.
I mean, we already gave away basically the whole.
And I mean, essentially, it's more a story about Santa and the girl. What is her name?
Yeah, Trudy.
Trudy. Because she is the only one who believes in Santa, and she's talking to him through like a walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
And she's basically like helping him, and he's helping her.
Yeah.
And she hides up in the attic, and she like makes all these Home Alone booby traps because she had just watched it before they came, and they're actually brilliant booby traps. They're really good.
They're really funny.
Yeah.
I mean, we already said that the movie is heavily inspired by a lot of other movies like Home Alone, like Die Hard, and that shows. And but it goes to length there where Die Hard that doesn't go, where Die Hard stops because it's not as brutal and bloody. But Tommy Wirkola just doesn't stop. He doesn't hold back, and you see some gruesome deaths in that movie. But the interesting thing is that he puts a little bit of like Santa lore, like old school Santa lore into the whole, or at least he gives Santa a backstory, where he at some point was a Viking and had like a hammer called Skull Crasher, and there are like glimpses of his past, and at some point he got chosen to do the Santa job, or he chose to do the Santa job, I don't know. And that also brings us to the belief thing. He gets fueled by belief, so if people don't believe in him anymore, he gets weaker. And I think that's
which is present in a lot of Christmas movies, but the one that sticks out to me is Elf.
Yeah, right. And so that also I think makes him tired and just cranky.
Yeah.
And but the cool thing is he's technically a regular guy with some combat experience from like Viking times. But he doesn't give a shit, and he doesn't also hold back. So if someone attacks him or is mean to him, he shows him who's the boss. And
they're on the naughty list, so
they're on the naughty list, and he fucking kills all of them. It's so glorious. There's so many glorious kills in the movie. The movie is not like we did The Holdovers last week, which is a very story-driven character piece, beautiful and stuff. And Violent Night is just like
it's an action flick,
gory action movie, which is
what
just
do you
a
expect
lot
from
of
an
fun.
action flick?
But the thing is, it just is a lot of fun. It just works because it's short. It's 107 minutes. David Harbour is amazing in it as like this cranky old Santa guy. The kills are awesome. You could say, okay, the CG blood is not always the best solution, but hey, who the fuck cares if the kill is cool? Why not use CG blood? And it's just a nice R-rated action flick.
Flip. Just going back to his whole like powers being based on belief.
Yeah.
It shows more times in the movie than just like the obvious times.
Yeah.
Because there are moments like when he's doubting himself, and then his powers are all of a sudden not working. So it's also his own belief in himself that fuels his powers. And it wasn't until he started to like believe in, like, there were moments where he pulled the wrong gift out of his bag. And that's because he was not believing in himself. He didn't have this. He wasn't feeling good about himself. And the more that Trudy starts to show that she believes in him, the more that he's able to like have these battles and win them. When he's like fighting the people, because in the beginning it's kind of a fair fight.
It's a fair fight, and he has more luck than that's true. And then at the end he really gives them, like, once he has the hammer and shit, he really gives them hell on earth. Also the blend of action and humor is really nice. And also there's a little family stuff in there as well, obviously, because of the two parents who are estranged, and then the daughter wishes for nothing more than those two finding back together. And over the course of that very violent night, they do find back together. And at some point, like at the end, she said to Santa, "Oh, you granted my wish, or you fulfilled my wish." And he's like, "No, they did it themselves, so it's whatever." And it's kind of nice. It's a little cheesy, but it kind of fits with the whole Christmas vibes, and that's what you want from a Christmas movie ultimately. So it is a full-fledged Christmas movie. There is a lot of heart in it, and Trudy is very sweet. She's a great actress.
Speaking of Trudy, so I didn't read the full list. So like when she first talks to Santa and she says, "I've been a very good girl this year," he pulls out his list and just like opens it, and it shows her, and then it shows like all the like nice list, and then all the things why she's on the nice list. And I didn't read them all, but some of them are really funny. It says her list includes kept room clean, listens to parents, kind to animals, sweet to everyone, and invited weird kid to party.
Oh, that's funny. That is funny. Yeah, I mean, if you know Tommy Wirkola and his style, then you know his movies are always fun. Like even Dead Snow, where they fight Nazi zombies, which are actually great movies, both of them. They're a lot of fun, and Hansel and Gretel is also a lot of fun, even though it's brutal and a lot of action. But they're funny. They're funny action movies. And honestly, we saw that movie, I think, last year for the first time. And it's definitely one of my go-to Christmas movies now. Like,
it's a fun one, yeah.
Because it's short, it's fun, it's brutal, and it's basically, it checks off all the lists that also Die Hard checks off. And since you don't think that Die Hard is a Christmas movie, no.
It's not, and the creators of Die Hard and the producers of Die Hard say it's not a Christmas movie, and so does
Bruce
Willis. He also says it's not a Christmas movie. And if Bruce Willis says it's not a Christmas movie, then it's not a fucking Christmas movie. So put the fucking thing to rest.
It's still.
You can watch it at Christmas. There is nothing wrong with that. But
it's centered around Christmas.
But it's not Christmas.
But it's not. Yeah. But I still will watch it. There might be a sequel. They already talked about it, since the reception was pretty good actually, and the movie got good reviews, and the box office was pretty decent actually for the amount of money they put into the movie. They discussed a sequel, and Mrs. Claus should appear apparently, or they wanted to appear,
okay.
And the actor David Harbour expressed interest in seeing Charlize Theron in the role, which actually would be cool because she's also kind of a badass action star. But yeah, apparently they will start production soon, maybe in a few months even. And yeah, I hope that's true. I really hope, because there's so much more to explore. Like with his backstory alone, you could fill like 30 minutes alone to show more of his Viking character. What was he like? Why did he choose to be Santa at some point? How was the start?
Or was he chosen to be Santa?
Yeah. And then also again do like a Die Hard 2, essentially, where he again finds himself in a dicey situation where he just ends up killing everybody. And, I mean, that's what you want from that movie. Yeah. That's it. Do you have anything else to add?
I do not.
You don't. Oh, that's interesting. The film script was written by Pat Casey and Josh Miller, who also wrote Sonic the Hedgehog.
Okay.
I want to see if that's true. Yes, that's true. They wrote all the Sonic movies. And apparently, they also will write an Ace Ventura 3. I hope that's true. Okay.
That better be true.
David Harbour trained extensively to physically transform into a muscular Santa Claus, and the thing is, he's never naked or has like an upper body. Even though he did,
He does have a wife beater on at some point.
no, he is at some point without that wife beater because he sews like the wound that he has.
Yeah.
So you see him, and he's pretty buff in the movie, but he also is pretty buff in the Marvel movie.
I think he's more buff in the Marvel movie.
Yeah, he's more. Yeah, that's it. Let's go to movie of the week.
Movie of the week. Movie of the week. Movie of the week. Movie of the week. Movie of the week. It's Christmas. Has to be a Christmas song.
Okay. We didn't watch that many. I mean, technically we could go back more, but we still watched a few. So we watched The Ref, but you didn't really pay much attention to it.
No, I didn't count that as I was watching that with you.
Okay. We watched Flow from 2024. We watched Interstellar, and that's it.
Now, what about the one with the twins?
The twins.
Where what's his face plays twins?
Ah, fuck. What was the movie?
Did you not put it down?
No,
Did you forget?
I totally forgot.
Yeah, because we watched that one too.
Yeah.
What is it called?
Well.
Jeremy Irons plays twins.
Yeah. But
Twin
ringers.
gynecologists.
Dead ringers. Dead ringers. Yeah. Dead ringers. I totally forgot about that movie. I didn't put that down. No. Dead ringers. 1988. Yeah, that's the third movie. So Dead Ringers, Flow, and Interstellar.
I mean, isn't it kind of an obvious pick?
See, I really, the thing is Interstellar. It's for me, it's movie of the week, 100%. Yeah. But I quickly want to shout at Flow because Flow is a very, very sweet movie, indie animation movie from Europe, actually. And it's a parable about climate change, and it's technically just about a group of animals who try to survive by a massive flood, flooding their land.
I mean, it starts with just like a cat, basically.
It starts with a cat.
Or it's from the perspective, it's the cat's story, essentially.
Yeah.
And this cat is the flood happens, and at first it doesn't seem that extreme, and all of a sudden it's just everything's underwater, and the sad thing is you have to come to the conclusion that most of the animals probably died. Yep. But they don't show that, but that's kind of implied. Yep. And yeah, then eventually the cat finds its way to meet a capybara on a little boat.
And they survive until the end together, essentially.
And other animals join in along the journey.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very sweet movie.
Yeah.
Their style is very unique, and it's worth a watch. I would totally recommend that movie. But Interstellar, 2014, obviously Christopher Nolan. One of his best movies. I consider it his best.
Let's just quickly, before we talk about Interstellar, let's talk about Dead Ringers. Just a brief. Okay. We don't have to go super into it, but the thing is, I thought it was a very interesting movie. It
was very interesting.
I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah.
But it was strange. It was very strange.
David Cronenberg.
It was gross in a lot of scenes. But I don't know. I felt like it was very artistic. Yeah. And I enjoyed that about it. Like it wasn't just like the scenes that were gross weren't just gross to be gross necessarily. They were still very
David
artsy.
Cronenberg, he does a great
And
job
the
with
story
that stuff.
itself was very artsy. I felt like it was well done, and it wasn't what you expected based on the description.
Yeah.
So I feel like it was more about drug addiction than two gynecologists taking advantage of the fact that they're identical twins, which is how it's set up.
I think it's more about it's about drug abuse.
Yeah.
That's the whole underline of the story. It's about drug abuse and what it does to people.
But I loved the style of it, where it was just very like you were confused, just like everybody else was. Like people couldn't tell them apart, and
Jeremy Irons played twins.
You were that person as well. Like you couldn't tell them apart, obviously, because they're both Jeremy Irons. But the way that they played it, a lot of times with twins, where the one person plays the same, like with Nick Cage in what is that movie called?
Adaption.
Yeah. There are obvious little things where you can tell, okay, he's this brother or he's this brother.
Yep.
But in this movie, they like to switch it up a little bit, where they kind of take on each other's personas.
Yep.
And so a lot of the time you don't know, you're like questioning, okay, is this Bev now or is this Ellie?
Yep.
So it's very well done. I enjoyed it, actually.
Yep.
But it is no Interstellar, so.
No, it's not David Cronenberg's best movie. But, Interstellar, we don't have to say much about the movie, honestly.
No, we don't.
If you have not seen it, watch it. Chris Nolan wrote it together with Jonathan Nolan, his brother. It was his last movie that they wrote together. Are you best buds with
him now that you can call him Chris Nolan?
That's his name. It's how I have him saved in my phone.
Mm-hmm.
And that was his last movie written with his brother. And I think it shows, like, all the movies afterwards were not.
What else did he write with his brother?
Everything before. So that the Dark Knight trilogy.
Okay.
The movie, the Prestige we watched recently. Like his best movies, Inception. I would say his best movies he wrote with his brother, and it kind of shows because I feel like his brother brings in the more emotional part. Because if you look at the movies afterwards, which are still like really good movies, like Tenet or Dunkirk, but the emotional component is kind of missing. Like the movie, like the component that kind of grounds. We talked about it last year in an episode about Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
The part that kind of brings in the humanity. He is very good in telling a story, but the humanity is kind of missing in his late movies.
He's also very good at like the mind fuckery of it all.
Right. He's good in everything. He's good in bringing like massive scenes to the screen. He's insanely good in pulling stunts and shit, like in Tenet where they do stunts backwards just to play it forward, all that stuff. He's a master in all of that stuff, but I feel like in writing, Jonathan Nolan just adds this little thing that is so important, in my opinion, to bring an emotional and a humanity component to the whole script. But Interstellar is, again, I think it's my personal favorite. I could watch it all the time. I just love space. I love black holes. I love all that stuff that's out there all the time and we don't really know much about.
And I love Matthew McConaughey.
The cast is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
From start to finish, everybody is fucking great. The story just flows by, even though it's like a 2 hour and 50
doesn't feel like
minutes
it.
movie. And it just looks fucking amazing.
It's so good.
Like the
and the story is so good. The story holds up. Like it's so fucking good. That movie is going to go down in history. I think is one of the best. Yeah. Just in general, one of the best movies. Yeah. Because 100%. It's like from how it looks, but also the story itself and the twist and like all of it is just so well thought out. Yeah. And I would be interested to know if anyone has found like significant plot holes. But
I mean, sure, it's a sci-fi movie, so they obviously.
No, but I mean, in the obvious things where but I don't. I mean,
sure, everybody there are people who find in everything something, but again, it's a piece of entertainment, so who the fuck cares about that?
But nothing significant. I mean, like it's a significant plot hole that would fuck up the whole story.
One of the best movies ever made.
I agree. It's phenomenal.
And it just, keeps you on the edge of your seat, basically from start to the end. And makes you cry, makes you think, very thought-provoking, and leaves you with an ending that is just awesome. And it's very cool. That's it. Hey everybody, if you want to support us, head over to our Patreon, where Joe is currently still our only Patreon member. Hi Joe. And if you don't want to support us there, you can support us by liking, subscribing, commenting on YouTube or Spotify. You can share the podcast. Like if you say, hey, I found this podcast, you might want to like it. Here, take a listen. Then,
or if you say it normally, like a normal person.
Then that would help us a lot to just share the podcast on socials or wherever, and with friends, family, and we would really love that, because that's how we keep it going. That's it, everybody. Goodbye.